All right, we're going to get into current league leaders, and I have some lists that I'm going to share, and I'm going to ask you if there's any shockers in the list when we pull them up.
All right.
But first, before we get into the individual players, here are the best records in baseball as of yesterday when I did this. Guardians 19-9, Yankees 19-10, Braves 19-7.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously for me, it's the Guardians, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you look at the beginning of this year and you're like, well, I don't really expect anything out of anyone in the AL Central.
No.
And the Guardians are that playoff team we saw a couple years ago. They're scrappy, they run, they play decent defense. They all have great contact. I mean, the top three hitters, you got Kwan, Jimenez, and Ramirez. I mean, you can't get through those three guys, at least one of them getting on base.
No. What shocks me with the Guardians is the number of runs they've scored.
Yeah.
Like this is a team that was so offensively challenged last year. Like they would go through droughts, they would score like literally 5 runs in a week. And they now have the second most runs in the American League, 5 behind the Yankees. Like we thought they would pitch and play defense because they have. I did not think they could hit like this. And they're getting contributions up and down that lineup. There's no easy out. And you could argue that Jose Ramirez like isn't even providing the punch he normally does.
Right.
And they're still scoring runs in bunches. And that to me is the biggest shock. They are scoring way more runs than I ever thought they would.
Yeah. Stephen Kwan is the craziest contact hitter I've seen in quite some time.
He's a
He
machine.
just doesn't swing and miss. Ever.
He doesn't.
If he doesn't like a pitch, he's like, nah, I'll just slap this into the seats and get the next one. Like
he's got to be one of the most frustrating guys to pitch to because you know that he's in total control. He will just, like you said, he'll just flick a ball foul.
Yeah.
It's close, but I don't want to. He'll flick it foul, flick it foul, flick it foul. Then he'll put one back up the middle.
Yeah, dude.
Or he'll hit a missile like he did against the Braves into the seats. The guy's got 3 or 4 home runs this year, and they're not cheap. But he's not up there to hit bombs.
If I'm a pitcher, dude, and he's already like fouled off 2, I mean, I'm just gonna put him on first base. I don't feel like a 20 pitch at bat right now.
Yeah, he'll wear you out.
Yeah, absolutely crazy.
And he doesn't chase. Like he's super disciplined.
Yep.
And he'll just wear you out and drive you crazy. But I mean, talk about a table setter. I mean, that's like he's like your old school leadoff hitter, the guy that would grind out in a bat, is perfectly fine taking 12 pitches and getting a walk. Yep. Doesn't care. Absolutely. Just going to get on base, but never strikes out.
Never. All right. So here I got the list going right now. We have our current MLB leaders. We're going to start with pitching wins here. So Tyler Glasnow with 5, Ranger Suarez with 5, and then we have 2 relief pitchers already with 5. So AJ Minter and Reed Garrett. I mean, anybody on that list kind of surprise you?
I mean, the relief pitchers, obviously, you don't see a lot of relievers get wins
this early. Already get this 5, early.
I mean, 5 is a good season for most relievers. I mean, these guys. I mean, unfortunately, these guys are pitching in bullpens that tend to blow games and win them later. So they're benefiting from being in bad bullpens and catching the benefit of that. But I look at that list, and I really the top 2. Glasnow is no surprise. He's an absolute monster.
Yeah, he's on almost all these lists.
Ranger Suarez is a guy who has proven for the Phillies how good he can be. And he's finally showing it in the regular season. He's been lights out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he is really delivering now. And Wheeler and Nola have been good but not great. And Suarez has really kind of carried the torch while those guys have settled back in.
Absolutely.
I mean, we mentioned the best records. I mean, the Phillies are at 19-10, right behind everybody.
Yeah.
And it's Ranger Suarez has really has helped them kind of light that fuse and go, because when he started reeling off wins, everything took off.
Yeah, the Phillies have been hot this past week, so they're right behind the Braves, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Nola and Wheeler got off to a slow start for the first couple of weeks. Suarez has been consistent since day one, and then when they came back around, forget it. That's a nasty 3-headed monster.
Yeah. All right, so pitching strikeouts, obviously Glasnow with 53, Zach Wheeler with 46. Logan Gilbert jumped up into this top list here yesterday, I think, or Saturday, so 44. Then you have Hunter Green, Luis Castillo, and Jared Jones of the Pittsburgh Pirates with 42. I mean, would this look different if Spencer Strider's on the hill?
Well,
Probably.
yeah, I'm 100%.
Right.
Would look different if a lot of guys were pitching right now? Yeah, it would.
Right. But I mean, no one really shocks me on this list, except for maybe Jared Jones, just because we
Yeah,
never really heard of him. But the Pirate staff is good. They're good.
they can pitch. I mean, they've had a really rough couple of weeks
Yeah.
after that hot start, and they've really come back to reality. But it's not because they haven't pitched; it's because they just haven't scored any runs.
Yeah.
But no, I look at that list: Glasnow and Wheeler, no surprise. Logan Gilbert, I don't really think of Logan Gilbert as a big time strikeout guy, but he can be. And then Jared Jones is kind of an unknown, so he's a bit of a surprise. But when you look at that Pirates rotation, they are good all the way through.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. ERA leaders. Here we go. Jose Barrios, a 1-2-3. Suarez again at the top, 1-3-2.
Yep.
Cutter Crawford jumped up a little bit here from his 0.66 to a 1-3-5. And then Jordan Hicks, a 1-5-9. So this is Jordan Hicks, if you remember, was a longtime relief pitcher for the Cardinals. And then when he went to the Giants, has become a starter. So he's settling in well there. And then, I mean, Jose Barrios is interesting to me because we saw what he could be in Minnesota.
Right.
And just never could seem to get over that hump. And then even in Toronto, it's still early. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
April. We're a month in.
Yeah, you're talking 4 or 5 starts for these guys.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still not bad. Over 4 or 5 starts. That's a really good ERA to have. So kind of shocker to have Barrios at the top there, but
I mean, honestly, if anybody out there predicted these 4 guys would be in the top 4 ERA leaders, you're lying.
yeah, right.
Because they were on nobody's bingo sheet as being potential top 4 ERA guys.
Yeah.
Barrios has got good stuff, no doubt. Never really put it together. But at the same time, the Blue Jays are a relatively uninteresting team, so it's kind of hard to believe he's playing that well when they're not. Suarez, great in the playoffs. Has not been great in the regular season. Here he goes. Cutter Crawford. I mean, geez, nobody saw this coming.
No one knows who he is. Outside of Red Sox Nation, who knows who Cutter Crawford is? No one.
No, I mean, and will Cutter Crawford finish with a 1.35 ERA? No, probably not.
No.
But I think he's proven he belongs in the big leagues, which I think was a question a lot of people had going into the season was, where does he belong? Is he a bullpen guy? Is he a starter? Is he really a major league pitcher?
Right.
And then Jordan Hicks has shown he's been great in the bullpen. Didn't know what he'd be as a starter, but if anybody had this 4, you're lying because nobody saw this coming.
Jordan Hicks, fellow type 1 diabetic there.
That's right. Sugar daddy.
That's right. All right. Next category, we got our whip leaders. Obviously, Ranger Suarez, 0.63 here. Tariq Skubal for the Tigers at 0.74. Gilbert at 0.80. And Dylan Cease at 0.87.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ranger Suarez has been that good. Skubal's been pretty impressive. Other than a few mistakes that have really hurt him in games, he's been good. Gilbert, I mean, and Dylan Cease. I mean, we know who Dylan Cease is.
Yeah.
And his stuff looks good. I mean, it's a shame that Padres team is proving again that they are kind of a mess. But and I will say the Red Sox, it looks like dodged a bullet on Xander Bogaerts because he's not the same player. He really isn't.
No.
The bat looks slow and.
Yeah, Skubal has Yellowstone to pitch in too, as Sean likes to call it.
Yeah, that helps.
Comerica Park is the most pitcher friendly park in MLB. I mean, it's massive.
Agreed.
But I mean, he's still got disgusting stuff. Like
he does. He's going to be good for a long time.
Yeah. So those are your whip leaders and our save leaders here. Kyle Finnegan for the Nationals with 9. So we got a 5-way tie here. Jason Foley, Ryan Helsley, Clay Holmes, and Robert Suarez. What I find interesting is all these guys. All of them? Right. But like, other than Clay Holmes, there really isn't a first place team that has a closer in there.
No, I mean, I would expect to see guys like Edwin Diaz, Alexi Diaz, Camilo Duvall. Like, I expect to find those guys on this list.
Yeah.
Bednar. Those are your lights out late game guys. And they're all like not far off, but this is another list of nobody would have picked these 5. I mean, the Nationals closer is leading the league. Like, no way. Nobody would ever have predicted that. Oh, although I will say he showed last year, you give him the ball with the lead, he won't give it back.
Right.
But still, I mean, how many chances is he going to get? That's the question you always have to ask.
Right. And this is a little misleading too, because the good closers will emerge in the next couple months and take over
Oh,
the
for
saves
sure.
lead. This is the first month. It is, I get it's a little skewed, but um yeah, just found that list interesting.
It's a really, I mean, 9 saves in April's pretty good. I mean, that's a,
Yeah.
you're putting yourself on a 40, 50 save trajectory right here.
You're telling me that the Nationals got 9 wins in April. I'd be like, you're crazy.
I mean, literally, if Finnegan's going to save 50 games, he's got to save like 80% of their wins.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and he might. I mean, he literally might. I mean, when you only win every 3 days, he's always fresh.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move over to the offense here. Kind of no surprise here with your hits leaders. I mean, the cheat
Oh,
code: Mookie Betts 46, Otani and Trey Turner with 41, Stephen Kwan with 40. Already kind of talked about Stephen Kwan. Dude never swings and misses. Like, he's just going to have hits. But good to see Trey Turner kind of come out hot
big time.
and not struggle like he did last year.
That was a season he wants to forget, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but I mean, Mookie Betts is ungodly good. Shohei has settled right in and is having a nasty offensive season with all those doubles. He's a gap machine.
Yeah. Yeah, he hits the ball so hard, dude. It's ridiculous.
It's stupid. I mean, it's to the point it's almost unfair. Like there's no soft contact from him ever.
No. And if there is, it's 500 feet straight in the air.
Right.
Like,
right.
You
Yeah.
can't see it.
Up the elevator.
Yeah. All right. OPS leaders here. We got Betts obviously at the top. Marcelo Zuna putting together, had a great month. Alec Boehm, another great month. And then obviously Otani. So,
yeah, Boehm is kind of an unsung hero here. I mean, and Rizzo and Boehm were your players of the week this week because Boehm had a ridiculous week last week.
Yeah.
But he's carved out a spot for himself. I mean, Marcelo Zuna's got 31 RBIs.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I would literally watched a couple of Braves games over the weekend against the Guardians, and that guy comes up every single time with guys on, and he always gets a hit. Like he always comes through.
But I mean, like, I don't have the talent I used to, and I'm not even saying I had great talent back then, but in my peak days, I could have hit in that Braves lineup because, like, I'm going to get something to hit because you're not going to feed Olsen. You're not going to feed Riley. You're not going to feed Acuna. Like, and then all those guys get on base. Like, it's who do you get out in that lineup?
Ozuna's living large off the scraps that are left for him. Like, it's unbelievable.
Travis d'Arnaud, dude. What, like 5 home runs in a 3-game stretch or something like that? Like, get out of it. They're not even missing Sean Murphy right now.
I was just gonna say, and I'm watching going, oh, I forgot Sean Murphy was out because they're still just
God, man.
they were playing the young kid on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. It's insane.
And I mean he did okay, but I mean they're not even missing Murphy because they're getting so much offense everywhere else.
Nuts. All right. Batting average leaders, so obviously. And then we got Will Smith at 367. Boehm with that crazy week jumps up to 365. And William Contreras at 352.
Yeah, he's had a really good couple of weeks too. He's come alive, and the Brewers have kind of followed. I mean, the Brewers have they won 6 of their last 10, but at one point they won 8 of their last 10, and they sprung it back up into the NL Central lead.
They are better than I expected.
Yeah,
like watching them play, I thought they weren't gonna be that good this year, to be honest. But they're playing above what I expected. Are they great? I don't think so. Yeah, but I'm just saying they're playing better than I thought they would.
I think it's a couple things with the Brewers. They're wildly inconsistent, which makes it really hard to gauge. And they have had a little bit of luck lately. I mean, their expected win-loss, they're 2 games better than their expected win-loss. They're only a plus 14 run differential, but so are the Cubs. Right. That whole NL Central has proven to be a little inconsistent. I think you had the Reds that were hot for a while and they've fallen back. The Cubs got hot for a while, they've fallen back.
Pirates.
The Pirates came out screaming. They've had a really rough couple of weeks, and they've dropped 7 of their last 10 again.
Cardinals are still a trash heap.
Yeah, the Cardinals are a mess. They're a mess, but and as good as the Pirates pitching staff is, they've given up 121 runs. I mean, it's not like they haven't been great statistically. Their starters have been good, but they've struggled.
Yeah.
They've had a tough time keeping the wheels on the bus.
Yeah. All right. Home runs here. Mike Trout, obviously, with 10 here.
Now, imagine Mike Trout hitting in Marcell Ozuna's place.
No, thank you. I don't
Like
want to.
he'd be at 10 and 40, like easy. Right
God,
now.
man. Gunnar Henderson with 9, Tyler O'Neill with 9, and then Ozuna with 9.
Yep.
So, I mean, good for Gunnar. I'm
Yeah.
all for the young kid being up here, but
I mean, he's definitely proven that he belongs and he is an elite talent.
yeah.
It's a shame that Jackson Holiday, couldn't kind of follow suit and play like Gunnar, but Gunnar was also more experienced than Holiday was when he came up.
Right.
So, and then Tyler O'Neill for the Red Sox, who just hits bombs.
Yeah. And he was out with a concussion for a few games. Like he's missed some time here and there. Like he is going to wear that green monster out this year.
Oh, he will. I mean, that home run to center, like Imanaga was even like, wow, okay.
that reaction was awesome.
Like he did not think that was going to get out, and it did.
Yeah, absolute seed.
But when you look at, so let's our good friend Mike Trout, 10 home runs, 14 RBIs.
Yeah.
10 home runs, 14 RBIs. Marcell Ozuna, 9 home runs, 31 RBIs.
So after this segment, I have a trivia question that kind of goes with that. So hang on, and I'll get it to you. It's awesome.
If there was ever anybody on base in front of Trout, that Angels team would be an absolute terror.
Yep.
But they are 10 and 18, minus 36, because they can't score any runs because nobody gets on base.
Yep. All right, here we go. RBIs or RSBI. I never get the RBIs because it's not run batted ins. Anyways.
Well, it's because the plural goes to the front because they're connected words. So that's
right. I get it.
It's a weird one.
All right. Marcell Ozuna, 31. Bowman, 26. Salvi Perez for your Kansas City Royals, 26. And Adolis Garcia. I mean, he's always a terror.
When they need a hit, he's there. Like every time. The guy breaks up no hitters regularly. He knocks in runs regularly. When they need a hit, he's there every single time.
The guy is so strong. He is an ox, man. It is crazy.
He's a freak.
Yeah.